What's going on, guys? It's ASAP Flash here, and I'm joined by,
Brendan,
we're here to discuss,
Spider-Man: Homecoming.
yeah, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Great movie, like a lot different than other Spider-Man movies. So, what did you think of it? What's your general take of it?
Well, like you, um, myself, when I was growing up, it was all about Tobey Maguire. Those three films. Tobey's the man, I think. But this one was really good, and like we discussed earlier, it was very quirky and it was cool and it was fun.
Yeah,
It was funny all the way through. I wish there was more nods to like the adult life, but like I said earlier, you can't expect that out of somebody who's 15 in high school.
that's true.
But overall, it was a really fun ride, and it was certainly different.
Yeah. What I liked about it though, like you mentioned about the adult life and whatever. What I liked about it is how he's not a man yet; he's still a kid. But I liked how Peter, Iron Man was kind of like a parental figure to him.
Yeah.
Just kind of like you don't understand what you're doing, but at the same time, like it's kind of like, dude, I'm trying to show you, I'm trying to tell you what the hell's going on. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, and Mr. Stark, he's just totally nonchalant about
Yeah.
everything. I love his attitude.
Right.
I felt like his character, the way he plays Iron Man, or the way he plays almost any character in the movies, that Robert does, it's kind of annoying. But in this one, like it was really good because yeah, he doesn't have a father, and I
Yeah.
like back to that. I kind of wish it touched a little more on how he doesn't have Uncle Ben, or like
That's true.
what happened with his Aunt May. Like he referenced how she was going through a tough time.
Right.
It didn't really explore on that. Um,
Although I will say this one thing, I'm kind of glad that they didn't retread grounds like over and over again.
yeah, yeah,
Like in the last two remakes, it's like, oh, Uncle Ben got shot. Oh, the same thing. So it didn't feel like an origin story. But yeah, you're right. I wish it would have been more like a line be like, oh, I wish Uncle Ben were to see you here today or something like that. But
yeah,
then one thing I'll say that's kind of weird how he referred to his aunt as May. You know what I mean?
yeah. I guess it's more of like it's a modern thing now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
people. I mean, we're still pretty young, so
yeah.
young people like us, we it's like we respect our elders and stuff. I mean, it's
That's
kind of
true.
going off topic, but like we don't
Mhm.
really say oh, my aunt, or or maybe you just call your mom and dad, but that's about it. Like I'm just used to calling my aunt by her name. I don't say aunt, and it
Mhm.
just sounds kind of weird to me just to go that extra mile for that little
Yeah,
word. But yeah, I mean, back to what you said. I guess anyone who knows the general theme or whatever behind Spider-Man already knows what happened with
yeah,
Uncle Ben and everything. So yeah, it didn't need to be touched upon, but it would have been nice just to
yeah.
have
But
a little something.
if you like want the history, I mean, you could just watch the old Spider-Man movies, so it could be like kind of a refresher. Be like, oh, okay, that's what happened. But if yeah, that's I mean that's kind of true because in the MCU, like there might be some people such as yourself like that new with it or whatever, but like I'm saying, it's like it's not really necessary. I mean, we've seen it many times. I mean, how many times does a poor man have to get killed?
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
no doubt.
yeah. Anyway, so I guess like a plot. No, this is too early to discuss plot twists. I think the next thing to talk about would be Easter eggs. I guess for like certain characters and shit like that. What was your favorite Easter eggs?
Um, well, yeah, we talked about earlier. I'll probably get his name wrong. 'Cause like I told you, I'm not
It's cool.
super familiar with this whole thing, but this is the shock dude. Is it shocker? Is it shocker?
Shocker, the
Okay,
shocker.
shocker.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
always just thought it was shocker, but I remember back when I was a kid, and me and my older sister would watch the Spider-Man
Yeah.
series, and I always remember him being like a recurring villain, or he was always
Mm,
there, and so I
yeah.
got so accustomed to seeing like the red vest, and then with the like the yellow
Sleeves, yeah.
sleeves, and like it's got like that quilt pattern.
Hmm.
Um, I guess I mean, for those who haven't seen the movie, I won't give anything away, but
Spoilers.
but when I saw, like, I didn't get it at first, with the whole equipment thing, like
Yeah.
this is who he is. but once I saw what he was wearing, I was like, that's
Exactly. I
yeah.
mean, the thing about this movie, it doesn't really does it in a way where it's like corny or in your face. You kind of have to look for it for yourself. Like the one scene at the end of the movie, which is kind of a post credit scene, spoilers. But like where one character, I forgot the guy's name, but he was talking to Vulture, Adrian Toomes, that's the guy's name. He's like whatever, and then if you notice, is like the tattoo on his neck had a tattoo of a scorpion. So that's kind of like a nice nod to the fans and to the audience. It's like that who is going to be next, possibly in the sequel. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even catch that at all.
Yeah.
All I remember was I recognized. I was like, um, wasn't this guy like in league with Vulture? But like, yeah, I remember also playing the Spider-Man the video game. I don't know what it's called, but I had a lot of fun with that one. I remember fighting like all the villains that you see. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've ever played it or if you know which one I'm
Yeah,
talking
which
about.
was it for? PS2?
I think it was PS1. Kind of
Oh,
goes
oh
back.
yeah, yeah. I
It,
remember that one. I remember that
yeah,
one.
it's like the one. There's like this. It's like the one of the most prominent levels in the game. Is you're like on top of buildings a lot and like everything. There's like a fog surrounding.
Yeah,
Like
I think it was like Vulture surrounding them, right?
no, I don't think so.
Okay, well, like to be honest, I think it was for the PS2, and
Oh,
I
okay.
think I cheated the hell out of that because like there was a point in the game where like I was getting so frustrated, so I literally looked up cheat codes just so because I was playing against a vulture. I was similar to like the movie where it just went into the training mode of like, okay, what the hell am I doing? You know,
Yeah. I think we're probably talking about different video games though,
I'm
because
more than likely.
I do remember Vulture and because I also had Spider-Man for the PS2, but the one I'm talking about is Carnage comes out in the very end of the game, like towards the
Oh,
end
okay.
game.
I don't think I played that one.
That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah,
you'll probably come across videos of it like on Facebook or
yeah.
something. I see it all the time.
Well, speaking of Vulture, I mean, this has nothing to do with Homecoming, but Sony is doing their own kind of. Wait, did you say Vulture? What did you say?
What?
You said not Vulture,
Oh,
but
also Carnage.
yeah, Carnage. I got me confused. Anyway, Sony is doing like their own like villains. It's not gonna include Spider Man, but it's gonna have Carnage and Venom. You know, so that's kind of interesting. I mean, not really like talk too much about that, but it's just kind of interesting how like Sony's gonna do their own thing. You know, like not necessarily a part of the MCU. Maybe gonna have a cameo with Spider Man or something, but it's gonna like do its own thing more or less. You know.
Yeah, that's like. Well, I heard about how Venom was getting his own movie, and that's pretty interesting because I always had questions about like the symbiote. You know what that is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, well, I mean, I guess it's some kind of alien thing, but well, it is, right? I was always wondered how it came to be or where it came from. I heard that it came like from a meteor or something,
yeah.
or from
Like
like the
it,
moon. I don't know.
yeah, because it kind of difficult to explain. You know where the hell exactly it came from, but more or less it manifests onto the host, and it literally becomes like an evil version of them. You know, so it should, and I think in Spider-Man 3 it kind of butchered it a little bit with Topher Grace,
Topher
and
Grace,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, because let's be honest, Topher Grace is not that strong of an actor to carry on that type of
that
role. You
yeah
know,
that character.
uh,
He was. I mean, I always remember Eddie Brock as like
a jerk.
yeah, like an asshole, dude, you know,
Yeah,
like
right.
and then I mean, my when I see Topher Grace, I think of Eric from that '70s
Yes,
show.
thank you.
So
Yeah,
like, but I mean, at least he was trying to do something. Not to say that he, I mean, I wouldn't say he butchered the character. Um, I mean, there was some relatable scenes, I guess, like when he was, I guess when he kind of, um, how can I say it? He stepped on Peter Parker's toes, or Peter Parker stepped on his toes. I don't know. Like
yeah,
there was like a clash between them,
yeah,
and that's kind of relatable, for just being like I guess a guy in general. Like in this day and age, like there's boundaries that you don't want to cross,
yeah,
with somebody in their personal life or their work life, whatever,
yeah.
or their superhero life they
Hmm.
have outside of things we don't know about.
Yeah, but
Um,
like kind of we're like a little bit talked about Spider-Man 3. What I find interesting, like there seems to be a lot of villains in this movie, but at the same time, it didn't feel like oh one on top of the other. You know what I mean?
in Homecoming.
Yeah, and because in Spider-Man 3, it felt like there's way too many villains going on in the same scene. But with this, it felt like it allowed itself to kind of grow and go along with the plot instead of like being forced in there. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Like it was more focused on
Yeah, exactly.
Peter. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not used to seeing Peter so young. But it was really cool. Like it. There was a lot of things that I could relate to, like how he been trying to work with the Avengers for so long. He's trying to prove himself.
Right.
I feel like that's something a lot of us can go through. It's something
That's true.
I felt like I've gone through, or something I might even be going through right now.
Yeah.
You're just trying to put yourself out there, or even if it's with a team or solo or something. It's like you want people to notice you, but again, like I won't go too far into details
Yeah, yeah,
because the
yeah.
people who haven't seen the movie. Um, but he makes his choice
Yeah,
at the end.
like you try to prove yourself. Like there's this one line like we're like discussing between Peter and Ned with like they treat me like a kid, but you are a kid, and that's kind of like the funny thing is like yes they're like young, but at the same time we should kind of listen to them because if we don't listen to them, then we'll like look how the movie went. You know what I mean? So, but then again, if they had listened to them, there wouldn't be a movie. So it's that kind of catch 22. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it just goes back to like you want to prove yourself, but you don't want to grow up too fast either, because the
Yeah,
the world's an ugly place, and you just want
it
to
totally is.
enjoy it as much as you can.
Yeah, and in fact, there's one scene where like Adrian Toomes is talking to Peter, like he said the very same thing. The world is an ugly place, and when he said that, what I was thinking is like Peter is like in this prestigious school with science, and all around his peers, so he hasn't really experienced what the real world is. You know, I
Yeah,
mean, he wants to protect it and blah blah blah, like be with the Avengers. But if you've seen the previous Avengers movie, not a lot of people like them, which is kind of ironic, because in Age of Ultron, yeah, I know you haven't seen that movie, but the opening scene is like the Tony Stark robots is like kind of containing the scene, and like all of the citizens are like throwing crap at them and saying like, "Oh, get out of town," blah blah blah, which is like funny because they want to protect the world, but the world doesn't really see them as heroes, you know?
yeah. I mean, people are they're just afraid of power, really.
The what?
People are just afraid of power, and
Right.
it's a fictional universe, but even in real life, when you have somebody with all that power, or someone who can dominate your life, or even the lives of many people
Right.
around you, it's something to be feared for sure. Um,
Yeah, and it was kind of like in the opening scene, like what you're saying, kind of relates to the opening scene where they're like collecting scraps or whatever they're doing, like from the Chitauri invasion. They're like kind of like take this power for myself, take like where like the middleman or the whatever will like rise to the top or whatever,
yeah, yeah.
And in fact, like I think the underlying theme of this movie kind of felt like that, you know.
Okay. Um, yeah. Well, I haven't even thought about the underlying thing
Really?
really.
Wow.
All I was just really focused on was how the movie just centered around Peter so much.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, there was tons of little nods and Easter eggs the whole way through. And eating with someone, I mean, I'm not super familiar, but I have a grasp, and even I understood,
Yeah.
the little quirks here and there. That was a nice treat.
Yeah.
As far as underlying theme goes, I don't know. I think it was just kind of like he's a kid and he's still young, but we're gonna see more of him. So
Yeah,
just
and
get
I think what
excited for
like
that.
because I heard like that they're grooming him to be the next Tony Stark, and if that's true, I really like how they're starting with a young actor, watching him grow over the years so he could become a mature. Like in a way, it's like Tony the mogul, and then Peter is like kind of like looking up to him, literally looking up to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah. He's like the Knight's Apprentice or
Yeah, exactly. That's the word that
something.
I
The
was looking for.
Squire. Um,
Yeah. So we've been talking for about 14 minutes. Wow, I didn't really feel that long.
yeah, it's
So to wrap it up, I guess, what's your, I guess, final thoughts about the movie? Like, like if you were to grade it on 1 to 10.
1 to 10. It's up there, dude. It's I'm gonna pull an Anthony Fantano here and give it like a I'd say like a strong 8, maybe even a light 9. Like there's a lot of things to like about this movie. It's really funny,
Yeah.
and even like it was nice for me, and I'm sure it's nice for a lot of people who just go into this movie fresh with not looking up anything about it, and
Mm,
it's nice as a person who doesn't know too much about Marvel or even DC or anything
that's
of
true.
that nature, and you just take it all in, and it's like, oh, this is a good movie. This might be something I can pick up as an interest or a
Yeah,
hobby.
and kind of piggybacking off what you said, it's like, for someone like me who watched them all, it's like it's very entertaining. But especially for someone like you that doesn't really know much about it, it doesn't feel like threatening. Like be like, oh shit, like all these movies and I don't know anything.
Yeah, like I need to. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like just in a movie to enjoy. If you're watching them, cool. If you don't, like, no pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it with a video. If you like what you see and whatever, I'm not really good at with the outro. Could you help me out?
Um, just watch the movie. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
just keep watching movies, and we'll be back with you in another video. I'm out like the Flash.